myEcon is about to experience massive growth in the industry, massive exposure because of what's about to happen. And I'm going to break that down for you in this video, so don't miss a minute. What's up, my friends? DK here. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, you're checking out myEcon, you're looking for ways to make money online, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime I upload new content. And that's what we talk about here on this channel: ways to make money online, make money from home, myEcon, which is my primary business. And if you want to learn more about my primary business, make sure you do watch this video all the way until the end and click on the end card at the end of the video. I'll share with you my full tutorial and overview and how I give you over $11,000 in free value just for activating your myEcon membership. You're going to see everything that you need and get all for free just for getting started. So now let's dive into the meat and potatoes of exactly what I'm talking about here with this massive growth that is about to happen. Let me head on into the back office. We'll head on over to the dry erase board and I'll break it all down. So first off, before I explain about how this is going to happen, what we're going to do with myEcon and how, the how and the why and all that stuff, let's break down specifically and talk about how companies go viral. How do companies get massive growth? Well, there's always one specific thing. There's always one specific hook or attention grabbing, whatever it is that they have. It could be a product. It could be a service. It could be something to do with the compensation plan that, marketers and people can take to social media and they can share. And it just gets a lot of attention. It turns a lot of heads. It gets a lot of people interested. Now, I'll use some other companies here. When I head to the dry erase board, I'll use some other companies as examples to show you what I'm talking about. And that's what we're also going to do here with myEcon. There's going to be a little bit of a difference, though, between some of those other companies and myEcon. I'll explain more on that in a minute. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be using and focusing on, basically highlighting the income shifting program here, also known as, correcting your W-4. This is, yes, one of myEcon's core products, but it's probably also one of myEcon's most underutilized products. There is not enough people doing this and straight up putting more cash flow, more money back into your pocket. And the best part is, I'm going to kind of, give you the hook here. I'm going to kind of hint at it, is this product right here is a way for the average person to get started with myEcon, to get started in network marketing and be in a very large positive profit without even promoting the business. So we're going to be utilizing that and focusing on that. Now, the credit system is very, very, very big. A lot of the marketers out there, a lot of people that have been with myEcon, especially for years, are heavily promoting credit, which is all great. You got travel, which also is something to, shout about. I've had several other videos talking about travel, but the income shifting is, in my opinion, severely underutilized. It's not talked about enough, and it's a way for, the average everyday person to plug in to get started and increase their cash flow right from day one without even promoting the business. So key in on kind of what I just said there, instant cash flow without promoting the business. These are some hooks. These are some things here, some marketing formulas that help companies go viral. So now that you kind of know what's going to be utilized here, now let's go head on over to the dry erase board and talk about, how this is going to happen and, maybe compare this to some other companies that have recently gone viral over the last few years and what they've utilized and how they've done it. And I'll break this down for you. All right, so what we're going to do here is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a previous company that has had massive success, massive growth. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare that to what we're going to do now in myEcon, what we learned from, observing this growth, this experience over here, and how we're going to apply that to myEcon. And that's all this really is, my friend, is just kind of studying, trends, what other companies have done. You hear the phrase all the time, success leaves clues, and that's exactly what we're going after. So as an example, and, let me just be real here, we're not cloning, a web page or anything like that. We're literally studying a formula, we're studying a process, we're studying a hook, and figuring out what is it that they did that worked really well, and then duplicating the marketing, duplicating the formula, duplicating, the things inside of what they did that worked really well. So as an example, there's a previous company that came out about, I'd say about 2.5, 3 years ago. And in their compensation plan, so it all stemmed from the compensation plan. It wasn't a product, it wasn't a service, it was part of the compensation plan where they specifically said in the comp plan, you could make $2,000 a month. Okay. And this was the hook, $2,000 a month without recruiting anyone. So when we break down the formula that they used, and this is what, the online marketers, this is what social media took, and it just went crazy. And this company here in a short time frame, whether it was 2 years or 3 years, in a very short time frame grew to over 1 million members. One of the fastest growing companies, probably in the last decade in network marketing. So, I mean, obviously, you got to tip your cap. You got to recognize success when you see it. And like I said, success leaves clues. So, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but you could do the math. Whatever your feelings are towards this company, you got to give credit where credit's due. And something that they did really well is marketing. They had a great marketing plan. They had a great hook that a lot of marketers use, and that's what we're going to take, and that's what we're going to apply to over here. Now, let me talk some truth here for a minute, and this is where I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Okay, the hook was great. Make this without doing effort, without sponsoring a single person, without recruiting a single person, right? So that was the hook. Get this without doing this, and that's just a marketing formula. It's used all over the place. It's used in commercials. It's used in videos. It's used, it's been used since the dawn of time. Achieve X without X, and for this specific company, it was make $2,000 without recruiting a single person. So kind of the network marketer's dream there. But, in reality, studying this process and trying to, bring some of this, what works really well over to myEcon to help myEcon create that massive growth. Now I'm going to be super transparent with you here. As far as I know, and I've done a lot of research here, there isn't a single person with all these, 1+ million members. There isn't a single person who is making $2,000 a month without recruiting anyone. Because, when you look at the compensation plan, is it mathematically possible? Yes. How likely is it? It's incredibly unlikely. Okay. So it's a great hook in marketing. It's great advertising, but it's highly unrealistic. Okay. So it's kind of really, I don't want to say preying on the desperate, but you do the math, make money without putting in any effort. That's just goes straight to the lottery ticket mentality of what people want these days with building a business from home, So more on that later. Now, when we look at taking the formula that, again, credit to them, which worked extremely well, and we start applying that over to myEcon. The question was, how do we apply that? How do we take something? How do we take that success? How do we take that hook? How do we take that marketing that was used and apply that to myEcon? But more importantly here, how do we do it where it's factual, where it's data driven, where we have the proof and documentation to back it up? That goes back to income shifting. So what we've done on our end, and now we're starting to create content, we're starting to create material, we're starting to create new web pages, starting to create new sales funnels, all inside our team, right? So we're going to use the income shifting. So I'm just going to put kind of off to the side over here, the income shifting, which is also, correct your W-4. We're going to use the income shifting. We did a case study. We started polling members on our team, and we said, hey, give us an example of you going through the income shifting process. How much money did you save? And we polled dozens and dozens and dozens of people, okay? And we said, hey, what was your savings? And we added it all up. And the average, you ready for this? The average savings, the average increase in cash flow, was $568 a month in additional income. Now, this is facts. Unlike over here where it's a possibility, it's a theory, get this without doing this, earn money without recruiting. Okay, sounds awesome, but can it be done? And the answer to that is without recruiting, can you increase your cash flow? And the answer to that, my friends, is a big fat resounding yes. And we can do that and prove that with data, with screenshots, with video testimonials, with all of that. We can prove with myEcon that you can increase cash flow without recruiting a single person. So you could join myEcon, increase your cash flow instantly without recruiting a single person. So when you look at, the clues of success here with this other company and the marketing formulas that they use, get X without doing Y, right? And we apply that to myEcon. Can you increase your cash flow, increase your take home pay without recruiting a single person? And the answer to that is, again, yes. Yes, you can. So we're going to be introducing that into our marketing. We're going to be introducing that into some new videos, new pages. And this right here, mark my words on this video right now, is going to help myEcon go viral. Because again, all we're doing is studying what's worked in the past, studying the marketing formulas, and in my opinion, which I think is a fair, accurate statement here, is we're going to be able to do it legally, ethically, and with proof and documentation in the concept that, yes, it does actually work. Okay. And this is what we're putting together here, because again, you got to realize the income shifting, the correcting the W-4 is one of myEcon's core products. It's not utilized. It's not talked about enough. And this is, if you go back to another video that I did here a few weeks ago called the myEcon problem, and the problem simply is that enough people they don't know about myEcon. That's the problem that they face, is there isn't enough people that know about it, where some of these other companies that have millions of, paying members, or, it's more global, it's more recognized. It's gotten more attention. Why, and studying why and how did it get more attention? How did they grow so fast? What did they do? And, again, we studied that, and now we have that, and we can take that and we can make it our own, and we can explode with it. So that is what's going to help myEcon go viral here very, very soon. And you're going to see it for yourself. So you have a legal, legitimate, even IRS approved way for you to increase your cash flow instantly. More money for you, more money in the bank, just by joining myEcon without even promoting the business, without even recruiting a single person. And when you think about that hook, it just ties back to get X without doing Y. And it's going to be a home run. So there you have it, my friends. I hope you got value from this. I hope you have a little more insight, a little more education as to where we're going, what we're creating, what I'm very, very, very excited about. You're going to get to see it for yourself very, very soon. So stay tuned right here on this channel, and you will get to learn all about it as we get closer to the launch of this new marketing campaign that is going to help myEcon explode. So if you're watching this, you're checking this out, you're looking at myEcon, you're thinking, hey, I want you to understand that, this is legit, my friends. This is the real deal. And once people get on the inside, they realize the power of the compensation plan. It's absolutely incredible, and it's incredible timing for you and an opportunity for you. So if you're ready, go ahead, link in the description down below, get yourself started. If you made it to this point in the video, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, get notified first anytime I put out new content. And, if you do need more information, you want to learn a little bit more about the business, the products, the services, the opportunities for you, and how we give you over $11,000 in free value, go ahead and click the end card right here now at the end of this screen, and you'll be able to learn all about that. Now, appreciate you for watching, my friend. Thank you for being here. If you made it to this point in the video, I truly do appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.